Everybody, today I want to talk to you about the new Continental M7 Quilters Collection Series. This is a new model out on the market. Ken Sewing Center can ship this machine to you anywhere within the United States. We're able to ship this particular machine to you. In the lower 48, we do not charge for shipping on this particular machine. If you have questions, feel free to give us a call anytime. We'll be glad to help you. This machine is the top of the line in the Janome series. As far as quilting machines go, you've got a lot of features built in for quilting and garment construction. So let's show you a little bit about this model. This particular machine will have the brushless DC motor built into it. This is the largest motor that Janome makes and puts in machines. It's a direct drive system, so you're not going to have to worry about this particular motor going out on you. The needle penetrating power, there's none that can beat it in the Janome line. So when you're quilting or doing heavier sewing, the M7 will definitely be able to handle doing this type of sewing for you. The machine has a lot of features that's built in and catered to quilters. The first thing you'll notice on this machine is the larger screen. It's a touch screen. We can access so many things on the machine, and we'll give you a little bit in-depth demo later in the video about the screen, but it's full color. You can see the size of the stitch you're working with. The buttons are really large and visible for you. Over here on the touchpad, we have all our convenience features. I can raise and lower the presser foot just by the touch of a button. The M7 does have the pivot feature, so when I get to the end of my garment, all I have to do is hit a button. There are integrations with my foot control. It does come with a switch that allows me to push the button here or on my foot control, and I can snip the thread anytime that I want to. It does have needle up, needle down built in. It has the auto lock feature built in, and that ties the stitch off for me underneath, so it's nice and neat, hidden and out of the way. And of course you have standard reverse. We can sew with or without the foot control. Now the M7 comes with the extra large foot control. You're not going to be having to hunt for the foot control if you're needing that, or if you don't want to use it, here just hit start stop, real easy and convenient for us. Our length and width settings are right here. It's a knob that we dial. Now on the M7, this one goes in tenths of millimeters, so there's so much more precision. There's so many more stitch length adjustments and stitch width adjustments that we can make for this particular machine. I have 3 inches from here to here, so I have greater visibility to be able to see my foot, the fabric, my bobbin, everything. So we generally tend to be setting up here looking down, so I have a lot more visibility and I get more fabric into the machine. Now the machine will have the larger spool stand built onto it. I can use the bigger cones of thread. Like here I can even get any larger than these. You generally, when you find the quilting thread or sewing thread you like, you want to find the biggest spool you can. This machine, you can stage 2 colors at a time or 2 threads, because you also can do twin needle sewing with this particular machine. The path of threading is very easy. Like all Janome machines, everything is going to be channeled for me all the way down to my needle. And then I do have the built-in needle threader on it. It has a top drop-in bobbin with a nice extra large needle plate, 9mm stitch width, which that also means I have a larger feed dog built into this machine. That's critical when I'm sewing or quilting. If I have a lighter weight material, I've got a lot more surface area that's touching my fabric, because those feed dogs are wider, and they're longer, and there's more places that's touching my fabric. So on lighter weight material, and even heavy, it's more touching the fabric, so it's going to feed that through a lot smoother and evenly for me. On the front of the machine, I do have a place for my knee lift. If I can use my leg to raise and lower the presser foot, there's an attachment that goes right into the machine. That is included with the M7. And right here is my buttonhole balancer. This one does several styles of one-step buttonhole. If one side seems to be a little thinner than the other, you have the ability to adjust that. From my needle to the inside of the sewing arm, it's 13.5 inches. So you're going to have ample space to be able to do your quilting or garment construction. It's so comfortable because I can get both hands on my fabric. I have the ability to raise and lower the presser foot without doing anything. So this machine is the ultimate when it comes to sewing, free motion work, and quilting. The machine does come with a lot of extra accessories. We have the website set up showing you all the different accessories that comes with it. There's a bonuses that comes with this particular model as well. A large table that actually has a drawer built into it. It slides around our sewing area here so I can keep all my accessories together. There are other tables and cabinets that we sell. all the optional accessories we do carry in any given time. I'd be glad to help you and recommend the right pressure foot or the right attachment for the job that you're wanting to do. This particular model, you can do a lot of things built in on the screen, so let's focus in on what all the electronics of this machine are. Now on the front of my machine here on the computer screen, notice it's really large, everything is visible, the icons are extra large so I can see what I'm doing, and there's different tabs here that are built in, so everything is categorized as far as my stitches go, main utility stitches. There's 37 total. I can page up and page down. If you'll notice, there's a QR code here. Any given time throughout the machine, we can scan that, and there are videos that Janome's had, as well as we do have videos on the machine, but you can scan that, and your phone or your tablet, you can pull up extra helps and tutorials on how to do different things on the machine. But if you'll notice, once I change the stitch, here it's showing me in the actual size that this stitch is. So once I make my adjustments and move my width over or my length, it automatically will change that so I can see exactly what it's going to look like, so I don't have to make as many test runs. All of my one-step buttonholes are together. All I have to do is hit this icon. It shows me there's 37 different one-step buttonholes. It does come with a special attachment. You can place the button you're working with into it, and it's going to size that button every time to these particular styles. So that's super nice to have. Then I can actually go in and I can look at my entire schematic of the machine, and everything is outlined for me by category. So if I'm doing applique one day, I can hit this button, it's going to pull up all of my applique stitches. There are a lot more built in, more than any machine on the market, of different appliques. I can change the length and the width between all the tacks here, and as you notice, there's a lot of those that are built in on this particular machine. I do have different alphabets built in. Now this one does a 9mm width, so my alphabet will be 9mm tall. It's a little bit larger than 1/4 of an inch. So if I'm doing a quilt label, or if you want to do just an initial on a dress shirt, anything like that, you're able to do that really nice and easy on this particular model. These are very easy to operate. The way Janome has the computer board laid out, you don't have to push 15 buttons to get to where you want to go. So you've got the added convenience of it's easy to use. You've got the largest bed space that's made. You've got all your electronics just right here in front of you. All the buttons nice and neatly laid out, so I don't have to stretch and reach around to get to where I'm wanting to go. So once I get to my heirloom stitches, I've got all those that are built in. Then I'll have some more different hand style stitches. Now you can make your quilt look vintage. I know my grandmother, she used to make all her quilts by hand, and this was her favorite stitch, the old-timey feather stitch or briar stitch. You know, wherever you're located within the country, we find that different folks name stitches different things. She always called that the briar stitch, and I've got quilts made that she did doing that by hand. This is built into the machine, so once I pull this stitch up, I'm able to go in and I can change a lot of different things about that stitch on the screen, not having to go to a computer, nice and easy laid out. I can also adjust the brightness of this particular model. If it's too bright for my eyesight, we can go down here and adjust that. And then there's a sewing advisor built in. We're always here and happy to advise you and help you with different things, but if you're at home and it's 10 o'clock at night and you're doing a project and you forget, well, what stitch do I need to do the project I'm doing? There is a small sewing advisor that's built in to the M7. It'll give you different helps, show you what stitch to go to, and so on and so forth. So that makes it easy as well, so you always have this. On the right side of my machine are my main apps or my main icons. If I want to go back home to the main screen, I can hit that. There is a built-in hard drive on the machine for saving different stitches, because I can combine stitches for a decorative border if you find something, or if you're doing a quilt label you normally do when you're giving things away to people. You can have that already set up in the script and in the size that you want. I can go here and do a lot of different things to the machine. It's not going to erase anything off of my hard drive, but I can change different things about the settings and get it set like I want it. And then I have other things here. If I want to turn the buzzer off, I want to brighten it. If I want to go from metric to inches, I'm able to do that really easy right here. Winding speed of my body works. Just so many different things we can go in from time to time. And then also there's going to be built in another little advisor here that gives us different tutorials and helps about doing things on the machine. M7 is really easy to sew. As we showed you earlier, it's easy for me to pull up a stitch that I'm working with. Here we're going to just do a straight stitch. Now I can lower the presser foot right here, hit my start stop button. I can override the speed of the machine. The machine is super fast, as you'll see here. I can slow that down to whatever that I'm wanting to do. When I get to the end of my seam, I can hit the auto lock button. It's going to tie that stitch off for me, automatically back tacking it underneath. Then I can hit the scissor, and then the machine will automatically raise that presser foot up for me, so I have a nice and clean and neat tie off underneath my fabric. Because the M7 has an industrial style motor, I can handle a lot heavier fabric with this model. So I'm going to raise my presser foot up. I have 12 layers of denim here that I'm working with. No problem for the M7 to handle this type of material. I can tie that stitch off, and then what I'm going to do is I'm going to get a sheer stretch material. It's commonly used in most sewing. Continue right on to that. I'm not adjusting tensions at all. And then we'll go back to the cotton that we sewed on before. I went from multiple layers to stretch to a cotton, no puckering whatsoever, no adjusting tensions. This has been a brief demo of the Continental M7. If you have any questions whatsoever, need us to compare this model to other machines in the market, feel free to give us a call or drop us an email anytime. We'll be glad to help you. We are an authorized Janome dealer. We've been a Janome dealer for over 50 years. We carry everything that's made for it.